It
It
has.
is time for pretenders or contenders. We're going to look at the top three of every division and we're going to say, are they real or are they fake? We're
Okay.
going to start at the Metro. Third place, it is the 5-1-3. The Habs haven't even been to OT once. The Caps have lost 3 times.
Wow.
The Caps, with again, Backstrom hasn't been there to start. They're third place. They're 5-1-3. Do you guys believe in the Washington Capitals right now?
Daniel.
Kind of. If that makes sense.
Washington has one of his best starts in history.
I know. So
What is this?
I'll say contender because they always are a contender. I mean, at least for in the Alex Ovechkin era, yes, contender.
I had them contenders last year, and I'm going to have them contenders again this year.
I think
You want to say chicken tender? I don't know why.
I think I called them my biggest disappointment of the year, going into the season. So to protect my own image,
Yeah.
even though we all know that I have started the Alex Ovechkin goal counting Twitter account, go follow it. I will say pretenders, but I want to
Wow.
say contenders, but I have to stay. Second, the 6-2-2 New York Rangers, who I believe blew a 2-0 lead last night.
I think they're a pretender because there's no stability there, right? They have.
I mean, 5 players making 53 million, and you're paying
Okay.
Chris Kreider too. What a joke!
Again,
I'm talking about like
no
productivity
comment,
with
no
things.
comment.
Like they brought up all those young guys where I saw a tweet where about like those quote unquote untouchable assets in a potential Jack Eichel trade. And none of them are doing well. Like Alexis Lafreniere, Capo Caco.
Their young players suck.
I just
Except Adam Fox.
the one that really got to me was Vitaly Kretsev, which just has NA.
And he was loaned this afternoon to the KHL. If you guys haven't seen,
Ooh, that's tough.
there is a potential for return. I believe it was Friedman said it was part of his contract.
Right now they've locked up their core. I don't know how Barclay Goodrow is going to be like the next Connor Brown, where it's like good player, but like he's going to have to go eventually.
Yeah.
But listen, they've got a good core. You know what I mean? I just question what they're going to be able to do in the playoffs. So I think for now, I'm saying this because let's remember Sidney Crosby has played like one game. Apparently has mild symptoms for COVID. Get well soon, Sid and everyone else at Pittsburgh. And Malkin is still out, like he always is. So at the moment, I'll say they're legit because they have a good. Their good players are good. Their young players are like, like everything else is kind of like, I don't know what's good, but they have a good goaltender, really good goaltender, some great defensemen, and some pretty wicked forwards up front, right? So I'll give him credit. And the 8-0 Carolina Hurricanes, and last time I saw Freddie Anderson's goals saved above average was like plus 11. I went, oh,
Yeah.
that's pretty good. So are they real?
I think they're the real deal. I just don't think they're contenders. I just don't think they're this good. I think eventually things will even themselves out in a way.
Are you
Yeah, I
trying
think-
to tell me they're sorry, Daniel?
Oh, no, go on.
You're telling me they're not going to win their remaining 72 games?
That is correct.
74.
74.
74?
Yes, that is correct. They will not go 82-0. You heard it here first.
Go ahead, Daniel.
I think I think a contender, but what Alex said, like it's a hollow contender because they got better, quote unquote, for now in goaltending, but they lost a lot on defense, and I think that's going to even out eventually. Like I've always talked about the Jacob Slavin and the Brett Pesci, those type of guys I really love, but I don't think the other guys they have surrounding them are going to do much. So, like they lose with Dougie Hamilton, but they gain with Frederick Anderson. So kind of balances out for me. They're like they're the same team.
He has had a hell of a start, by the way. I don't know if we've talked about it, but he is 8-0
That's pretty good.
or 7-0. Like he's just ridiculous.
He's back with a vengeance.
Can we talk
I miss
about
him.
how I went to go bring up Tony D'Angelo's numbers, and I accidentally didn't put it all in properly, so it just went to a recent Tony D'Angelo search, and it was an old one saying, Rangers Tony D'Angelo throws tantrum after Twitter bans Donald Trump. So, but that reminds me, we haven't heard anything from or about Tony D'Angelo all year.
Is that like his contract?
That is the plan.
And he's a +9, and he has 9 points in 8 games. I hate it, but man, Rod Brindamore, say what you want, but has sort of kept Tony D'Angelo under wraps for now, and has turned, with him and his defensive core and system, Freddie Anderson into the new coming of Patrick Waugh. So, or maybe because he's hiding behind a great defense, we should say Martin Brodeur. Anyway,
2017, 2017, Freddie is back.
Or yeah, like he's just healthy. Like he hasn't been healthy in like 3 years or 2 years.
A team I thought was off to a worse start, but are still third in division. The 5-3-1 Tampa Bay Lightning. I
think they're contenders, guys.
The Atlantic it's pretty tight unless you're Montreal, which is pretty funny. I'm just realizing, or the Satins, but they're like, they have a core that I'm fine. They're gonna get my guess. I guess Kessel. They're getting Kessel, by the way.
Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
They'll be fine. I have a feeling they're contenders, guys.
Yeah.
Contenders.
Back-to-back Stanley Cup champions. I think they're good.
No argument there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The 5-4-1 Toronto Maple Leafs, who all of a sudden have won 3 straight. I feel like it should be 4, shouldn't it?
Sorry, are you on the NHL website?
No, I just looked up the Google one. And I realized they don't count overtime stuff on there because they're dumb, don't they? Because I thought it was 4 straight wins.
I'm so good. So
Vegas, Detroit, the Rangers, and Chicago.
Okay, wait, did they beat the Rangers?
No, they did not.
No, they didn't. They lost in overtime.
Oh, so was it just 3 strikes?
Yeah, it's just 3 straight.
Yeah. Okay, because their first one was against Chicago, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like in that streak.
Chicago, Detroit, and then they beat Vegas last night.
Yeah.
That's silly. Okay.
Like their first non-close win.
Pretenders or contenders?
I think they're contenders, just not like, again, similar with Carolina. Like, I don't think they're top tier.
Can we talk about that if the Sabres get Valimaki and Kachuk, they could be in it because they're tied with Toronto and Tampa with 11 points. The Sabres are about to get better, which is really funny.
Okay. But we got to take that with a grain of salt, right?
Yeah.
Sorry?
They're goaltending.
Oh, yeah, the goaltending's kind of...
I love how they're tied with Tampa and Toronto with Craig Anderson, Aaron Dell, I think, and Dustin Tokarski.
Yeah.
Yeah, Aaron Dell has not played a game.
So it's just been Ticker and Anderson. But Anderson does have magic, doesn't he, Craig?
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Dan.
Oh, no, I was going to say 2 things. So, yeah, again, you didn't ask me about the contenders for the Leafs. So, yeah, they are contenders.
Yeah.
I still believe. And last thing is, we mentioned him already, but we never really mentioned him too much as a Leafs legend. Aaron Dell.
Yeah,
the guy literally invested in Leafs equipment.
Hey, listen, you didn't play a game.
Okay, final team. They're off to a pretty good start. They are the 8-0-1 Florida Panthers. Now, the big kind of question here, obviously, is how will they look without Joe Quenneville now? But I think as of right now, I love their roster so much. I'm going to say they're good. Even if they will not be as good as a team as they were with Joe Quenneville, I'd say it's going to be pretty hard to not make the playoffs with that roster and that talent.
Yeah, I also agree. I think they're contenders. Like the only one I'm kind of worried about is their goaltending, but that's just Sergei Bobrovsky. He can most definitely prove me wrong. He's won a Vezina.
He's 2.
Yeah.
He's on set to win a 3rd this year.
He's getting on better. He is back.
him, Freddie, and I don't know, maybe Binnington, because the Blues. I'm breaking the order here. Never mind. We'll go to the third place, 6-3-0, Minnesota Wild. Kaprizov is off to a good year. It's almost like the guy who has been good every year he's played pro hockey, and everyone was so worried about paying is actually playing well, and everyone's kind of surprised about it. I think they're legit.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, if this was last year, I would have been, I don't know, but there's not too many changes to the main contributors there. So, because we already know Parise, Suter, they were not main contributors anymore, but they're proving us wrong. Yeah, the decor is okay, but I mean, Alex Goligoski, I criticize that signing, but listening to him in interviews, he's still good, and he's a guy that he's one of those guys you want on the team because he actually really wants to play for his hometown team.
Right. Yeah.
He's the Michael Bunting of Minnesota.
Jason Spezza. Let's make the age range a little bit a little bit better here.
Pretend for a while.
I'm gonna go with contender.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's all I gotta say.
It's kind of weird because Colorado are 4-4, but you're how long until that lasts? But the second place 5-2-2 Winnipeg Jets. Jordy Ben scored a goal. That was pretty funny.
Does he have more than his brother?
Yeah. You know what? Give me a minute.
I feel bad saying that.
No, it's okay.
Jamie Benn doesn't deserve credit for winning a scoring title of 89 points. Get out of here. Go ahead. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead, Alex. I
was just gonna say I think I really like this team, and I mean I liked them last year as well. I think they're contenders. I think they will be a pain in the butt this year. They were quiet. I think it was Adam, you said they were quiet, or was it someone said they were quiet? And just the moves they made solidified that decor, which was their biggest issue.
I think two things for me is they are a contender mostly because of those acquisitions, really balanced up the team. Reminds me of Florida in that sense. And I think the second thing is when they talk about that scoring from a second line, Pierre-Luc Dubois really picked it up this year. And that was something that they've been waiting on for a year, basically.
I mean, they've been waiting for a second line center for years. He's hardly better than Mark Scheifele anyway. So never mind. I guess he didn't get credited with the goal. I swore he did, but he has 0 goals, just Jordy. Jamie has 1.
Oh, okay. He would have tied.
If they had given Jordy the credit he deserves, then it would have been thinky. Number 1. In the Central, they are 6-1. What helps with this is Tarasenko's good again, so that's pretty nice. It's the St. Louis Blues. I don't believe it. I think if they're wild card, I'm okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Maybe they scrap with Minnesota this year. But listen, having a 40 goal scorer play well again is certainly going to help you a lot. But I still don't believe in the fact that they have no solid number 1 D and just a bunch of pretty good complementary guys with no distinctive 1.
I also think they are pretenders. Different reason, but I think I don't know if they're going to mend that relationship with Vladimir Tarasenko because that still seems to be up in the air. And I think they end up trading him for whatever they get. And I just think that's not their demise, but it's something that needed to be done. And unfortunately, it will lead them to be pretenders.
He will also go to Tampa Bay.
Oh my God.
Go ahead, Dan, your favorite team.
For me, I actually put them as contenders, and I think it's because they don't have a true star guy, but I think about, and I know it's a different sport, but I think about the Atlanta Braves last night where they didn't have a true superstar guy for them.
Suck Houston,
but there's enough talent around that they could potentially make a run, or these type of guys could get hot in the playoffs. I think of a David Perron, even if he doesn't have a really good regular season, or I think about their center depth where they are two-way guys and they may not be the highest scoring type of ones, but they've been there before. So yeah, I'll give them that credit. The defense, no number one, but it's still solid. And then goaltending, Jordan Binnington.
Good year.
I really laughed when I sent you that thing because I'm like, he's not only winning, but he's back in top season form with his antics. So if he has that confidence, then I'm like, okay, we'll just run with it.
Swinging at Kadri, I'm like, watch out, Kadri's going to come back after you.
Watch out, Darcy Kemper.
Can I ask you something, Daniel? You had them not even making the playoffs last year. Right? Let's rehash that memory.
Yo,
have they done anything drastically different?
Well, think of it like this quickly before you say Daniel, because there's a similarity with them in Washington. But Daniel, go ahead. But I want to bring it up in a second.
I don't know. It's just kind of there's this energy to them, and I think that is the Vladimir Tarasenko thing. Where there's so much uncertainty with that, but he is their guy on offense, and if he could keep on going and showing that he's healthy, then again, like it's going to be a win now type of team. He's probably leaving. He's probably going to do like a Kawhi Leonard thing this year, maybe if they win it, and that's it. I don't think he's coming back, but they are consistent enough where they haven't really imploded in a way. It's just they're a team that if they could still be scrappy the way they won the cup, right? They still have that core. So I'm not saying that they are a top tier team, but they're a team that could upset the higher guys. Or I don't know if they're gonna stay where they are, but they are gonna make the playoffs.
I forgot they signed James Neal until just now. But here's the thing with both Washington and St. Louis. The big thing with them last year was they're starting to get stale. And then all of a sudden, here comes some young talent in the lineup. AKA, it was all of a sudden, especially right now with Ryan O'Reilly apparently being out, didn't realize that. Guys like Robert Thomas are finally getting more freaking ice time, apparently. So that's pretty cool. And again, like, I'm still going to say pretenders because, I still believe in some other teams more than them. But you guys know how big of a fan I've always been of Tarasenko. Like, just a skill guy that can take over the game. But I think some of those young guys really coming in has really, really helped that team. Not to mention, never forget Marco Scandell's on the team. What a weird contract.
Habs legend.
Yes, indeed. The team that they're back on the winning streak. The 6-3-0 not St. Louis, San Jose Sharks.
They're back.
Last night. That game against Boston, they made it a 1-goal game at the end. Erik Karlsson is back, I'm telling you.
I have them as pretenders.
Yo, you know what's funny? You can say every team in this division is a contender and the pretender at the same time.
Yeah.
But go ahead. It's just like this division is such a crapshoot.
It is. Hilarious. I think you've pulled out one guy and it is Evander Kane. You've improved their goal. You've changed their goaltending, which is an improvement. I just don't know how much. I don't know if that's enough to completely turn around this team. Like the issue last year was depth. Then you have to rely on now the depth started well this year. You have to rely on that going throughout the entire year. And I just don't know if it's enough with the teams around them.
Yeah, I agree. I think after so many years of just going in the wrong direction, they finally turned things around. But that's the thing. It just was a gradual turnaround. Like now you're headed in the right direction. You still have a lot of problems with this roster. You still don't know what you're doing with the money. And yeah, I think this is a team that they're showing the potential when you don't have distractions around you, where you don't have, I guess, from our perspective, a level of expectation based on how much money is given to these players.
Yeah,
it's no longer there. So I think they're just playing their game. And I think Aiden Hill was a great acquisition for them. But yeah, they are pretenders for now, but they are going in the right direction.
Listen, all I'm going to say is don't underestimate getting a save for the first time since like 2017. So I'm going to say that they are contenders because Erik Karlsson is back, even though since I said that he hasn't had a point. We'll ignore that.
I think he's been out.
Oh, has he?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because he was on their COVID list, wasn't he?
Yes.
That's why. Because he'll be back for real. continuously.
It's really hard to follow, like for the COVID protocols.
It is.
It's actually getting so difficult to follow along with it.
Hey, we haven't had a game canceled.
Yeah,
That is true. No, it's just it seemed not that it's unorganized. It's just not. It hasn't been relayed the same way as last year. I think. To the public.
It isn't. Plus, it's not like a COVID, and then you kind of have a heart attack because you're like, oh god, we're not gonna have hockey, and we're gonna be gone for 2. And it's like, no, we're good. Anyway, second place, the Calgary Flames. Markstrom has been better, which is pretty jokes. Mangiapane is off to a start. Man, listen, if they get Eichel, man.
that guy's going 30-30.
I never know what the Flames are, so I'm just going to say Pretenders, just because I'm like, whatever.
The rumor going around with I don't know if it's a rumor or confirmed, but apparently he is on the 55-man list. He is the only player other than the goalies to be thrown out there.
Good for him. He should be on it.
I imagine the World Championships played an extremely major part in that. He did lead that, in a way he did lead that team. I'm gonna go with Pretenders for now, because for the most part, a lot of it is the same lineup as you've had in the past. You add Blake Coleman, but you do lose what? Sorry, you add Blake Coleman. Right.
Yeah, I was just like, oh yeah.
Then you lose. You also have to remember they lost Mark Giordano in a room that seems to be divided. Mm-hmm. To have a leader like that taken away is difficult, and I don't know what to expect. Like, they've only played 9 games. Listen, they could be contenders by the end of the year. I hope they prove me wrong. They're in Canada, the guys at Sportsnet would say, more Canadian teams, the better.
David Amber's like, of course they're Pretenders.
Yeah.
The Habs are still in it, damn it, he said. What's the sense?
I'm going to say for now they're Pretenders.
Daniel.
I have to agree with that. They are Pretenders. I don't know what they are, because
no one does.
I know that Daryl Sutter has the name, and it's been working to a certain extent. It's just when two things are swirling like this, they're a really heavy team where, it's not a lot of the same mobility I saw with other teams that they still want to use that size. And the way things are swirling right now, the way that we know that it's not, the most harmonious locker room, I'm going to put them at Pretenders, and I don't think this is going to last. And I think if they do really swing for the fences in a big deal, it's going to be better for them in the long run, but it's going to set them back.
Yeah, what do they need? A real first line. No, I don't agree with that, because if you get Eichel, you have something that not many teams actually have, and that's it's Eichel.
No, I know. I mean, for now, because going into the season, he's gonna get the surgery. Yeah. But I mean, that's what I'm talking about for this season, where it's that's gonna push them back for now. It's the one step back to take 2 steps forward, type of thing.
They might not have the bestest of seasons that we expect if they trade for Eichel. Losing Kachuk would be a piece. But I think next year we're having a discussion about they're going to make the playoffs 100% with Eichel and Monahan as a 1-2 with Gaudreau, Mangiapane. We add the names. This is a team.
You know what I kind of like about Calgary though? Is I don't think Suter's been all just sort of I don't think Suter has been on the outside what we've thought he was. Because I think the big difference from what we see in him now and the late years in LA is he doesn't have a decrepit, old, and slow team where we don't quite know what, Jeff Carter wasn't himself anymore. What was Dustin Brown? And even he's kind of been every other year is different with that guy. And how do you fix the locker room issues? Apparently, trade Kachuk. I don't know, man. But hey, I mean, I still think they're Pretenders, but a team that I'm going to say I don't care about goaltending, I don't care about defense, because when you have So right now, here are your point leaders. Number 1, Leon Draisaitl with 17 points. Number 2, Connor McDavid with 17 points. I love it so much. The Edmonton Oilers, who are in first, they're 7-1-0. Listen, the further the season goes, the more 7-6 games they're going to win because Koskinen and Smith are playing well now. You get those points early, and McDavid and Draisaitl will do the rest. I will say that they are contenders for the regular season. Let's see what they can do in the playoffs when they win a round or two, but then go against like Colorado or St. Louis, and you wonder, oh, are they really that good? But it's fine because McDavid, woo, 100 points, 120 points.
I was about to say all of that, by the way.
Yeah.
So, I agree with Adam that contenders for now, they look good. Regular season reminds me of 2017.
Yes, that's a very good point.
It's a similar type of situation, so just see how it goes.
I also agree. I believe they will be contenders for the regular season.